Dear friends, today I will be talking about the WBCS examination. I cracked WBCS examination in 1993, and this examination I combined with basically IAS examination and its syllabus. IAS examination is one of the topmost examination of our country. It is called the national examination of our country. So once you prepare for IAS examination, WBCS will become really very easy. So for WBCS I did not prepare almost nothing. I just prepare for IAS examination. But I observed that WBCS syllabus is just a very mini syllabus of IAS examination. So WBCS examination is conducted in 3 phases: preliminary examination, main examination, and interview. Interview is basically called personality test. In my time, there was no preliminary of WBCS, but IAS was having a preliminary, then main, then personality test. So I prepared all preliminary examinations for IAS, but for mains there was nothing left for WBCS. So the basic issue of WBCS is basically today is personality, not the personality preliminary test. Now in the preliminary test you have one paper, that is general studies, and this general studies paper and also some of the attitude test. But in IAS examination, general studies as well as there is CSAT, that is 2 papers, but WBCS is only 1 paper. And in this one preliminary test paper, there are all issues like this preliminary test, only 200 marks and 2 hours you have. In these 2 hours you have the main WBCS exams, all compulsory tests are here in the preliminary. It means in the preliminary you have English composition, which is 25 marks, then general science 25 marks, current events and national, international important events, that is 25 marks, then history of India, which is also very easy, that is 25 marks, then geography of India with special reference to West Bengal, this is also 25 marks, Indian polity and economics. Indian polity is basically Indian constitution, you have to read thoroughly, and also Indian economy means 5-year plan and many other issues. So these issues are there, right? 25 marks. Indian national movement is 25 marks. Then general mental ability, which is 25 marks. Now in IAS examination, the general mental ability is basically CSAT, and all other things are general studies in IAS. IAS there are two papers in preliminary examination, but WBCS it is only on paper in the preliminary examination. So by this way, WBCS is condensed form of IAS preliminary. WBCS preliminary is basically that. Now in the main examination of WBCS, this whatever 6 papers already I have told, 6-7 issues, that is in the preliminary, that is in elaborated form, that is there. In the main examination there are 6 compulsory papers in WBCS, and out of these 6 compulsory papers, 4 papers are basically MCQ types. These MCQs are basically General Studies 1, General Studies 2, Constitution of India and Economy with a special function of the Reserve Bank of India, that is also MCQ type. Then Arithmetic and Test of Reasoning. These are basically MCQ papers. And other papers are basically conventional writing, means Bengali you have to write, and also English language. These 2 papers will be there. So total 6 papers in the WBCS main. Now there is a system of 10% deduction if you disclose your identity in the main examination. which is prohibited. So never do that. So this is the main issue of WBCS examination pattern. Then personality test is the last. The personality test is also very easy. Take it very normal way, and there are 5 persons who will be sitting before you, and chairman will be there. So in the personality test also you have to take very normal attitude and take also very seriously every question. Suppose you belong to certain place of West Bengal, suppose you belong to Siliguri. So there may be some issue of regarding Siliguri. Then you may be studying North Bengal University. So there will be a lot of issues regarding your university. There may be a lot of issues regarding the subject you have taken in the graduation, history or geography, any subject. So these are the many issues, and also general, national and international, many affairs also will be discussed. Now, WBCS main examination, you have to concentrate a lot for this examination. If you concentrate on main, your preliminary will be very easy. Normally, you should follow a time schedule, which is very important. In this time schedule, you should divide your whole day into 3 parts. One is basically your studies, one is your sleeping part, and your other activities. So you have to make the ratios of these 3 parts. Sleeping, if you make 8 hours, then you can study 8 hours and you have other activity 8 hours. You may increase your activity a little bit sometime or decrease also depending on your situation. You can suppose somebody is studying in the in some extra papers, they have to also adjust with that. Somebody is working somewhere, they have to adjust also there. The 8 hours working, then activity they may reduce, they can increase more of studies 10 hours. If they study, they can reduce their activity to 6 hours. So like this, you have to make a balance. It is 8, 8, 8 formula, or 10, 8, then 6 formula. So like this, you have to have your own formula. Now WBCS main examination, there are 4 groups in WBCS. Group A is basically executive, Group B is West Bengal Police Service, Group C also there are a lot of other services, and Group D also. So in this examination pattern, your Group A, these compulsory papers will be there all. But group normally C and D, you need not take any optional subject. Group A and B, there is optional subject, only one optional subject, which is basically 400 marks, means 2 papers, 200 plus 200. Suppose if you take history as optional papers, so paper 1 200, paper 2 will be 200. Now all papers will be all 200 marks. So there will be 6 compulsory papers. In these compulsory papers, already I have told that language paper, mother tongue may be 200, then English may be 200, that is 200. General studies on paper is 200, general studies 2 is 200. The Indian Constitution and economy is 200, arithmetic and test of reasoning is 200 marks. Then 2 optionals. So total will be 1600 marks plus personality test is 200 marks. Your interview, that is 200 marks. So group A and B, you have 1800 marks, out of which you have to compete. Now group C and D, there is also personality test. Group C personality test only 150 marks, not 200 marks, which is basically for group A and group B. Group D also only personality test is there, that is only 100 marks, and you have to appear for all compulsory papers. Now these studies should be there. These are compulsory papers. If you see, already you have studied whatever you have studied from your class 1 to class 12, and also in graduation, everything is covered here. So I believe that you take very seriously for the WBCS examination, and I hope in my next video I will give you more tips for these examinations. Thank you very much.